And now to our series USA to Z, where we bring you stories from across the country to celebrate 250 years of America. This week is K for Kentucky bourbon, and we're taking a look at its role in U.S. history and its deep roots in American culture. Bourbon is especially meaningful for one family. Skylar Henry visited a distillery in Kentucky where 3 generations of distillers are toasting their legacy.
In the rolling hills of Kentucky's bluegrass region, the spirit of whiskey is as strong as ever. With 125 distilleries across the state, barrel-aged bourbon isn't just made here, it was born here.
So this is a good example of bourbon tourism.
As president of the Kentucky Distillers Association, Eric Gregory has come to know a thing or two about whiskey history.
What makes this the perfect place for such an incredible drink?
We're very blessed that when the early pioneers came to settle the frontier 200 years ago to Kentucky, that, they were growing corn and they were trying to figure out something to do so their excess corn didn't rot. And they turned it into whiskey. So a lot of these were Scotch-Irish immigrants who already had some knowledge. We have an abundance of corn here, great farmland, fertile soils. We have water that's the purest in the world. So once they figured out, hey, this is a sweet spot for making bourbon, they stayed.
In 1964, Congress declared it official. Bourbon is America's native spirit, and it can only be made in the United States under a strict production process.
You can't add flavoring, you can't add colors or anything like that. What you see at a distillery is what you get. It is at least 51% corn. You're gonna add a secondary grain to it, rye if you want a little spicy, wheat if you want it to be a little more mellow. And then you stick it in a barrel and let it go. And that's where the magic really happens.
Today, Kentucky produces an average of 3 million barrels of bourbon a year.
We make 95% of all the world's bourbon a year. And our governor likes to say the other 5% is counterfeit.
How many barrels are in here?
This will only hold about 14,000.
At Wild Turkey, one of the state's oldest distilleries, a passion for whiskey is deeply rooted in the Russell family tree. Eddie and Bruce Russell are father and son whiskey makers,
You're getting whiskey right out of the barrel.
following in the footsteps of their family patriarch, Jimmy Russell.
I was amazed when I was a little kid. I followed him out here on Saturdays and Sundays.
The 91-year-old is the longest tenured master distiller in the world.
70-some years later, he's still driving through here to make sure everything's going on.
And he's best known as the Buddha of bourbon.
He started when he was 19 years old with just a high school education. And he's gonna end his career with his name on bottles that are sold around the world. And he really is kind of a Mount Rushmore figure in our industry. I mean, it's something really special.
The 3 generations of the Russell family have more than 100 years combined experience in whiskey making, a rarity in any business, but especially this one, where time is key. Wild Turkey ages its bourbon in American white oak barrels for a minimum of 5 years before it's flavorful enough for bottling.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And drinking. I got a pour of their famous Wild Turkey 101 blend.
You smell a little vanilla, not so much alcohol.
I'm chewing it a little bit.
That's right. Definitely a long way to finish.
Whiskey has been a $9 billion annual economic and tourism powerhouse for the state of Kentucky. But last year, the industry experienced a significant decline, in part because of tariffs, but also because Americans are drinking less.
What's next?
For an industry that looks out in years versus days, we always look out into the future. We're going to just have to figure out how do we continue to convince people to convert, from what they're drinking now and realize that if you want the world's best whiskey, try Kentucky.
Just sit the rest of it.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Skylar Henry in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky.
I love the concept of this being a 3-generation dynasty.
I do too.
And what people don't really know at home is that when we sip these, it's bourbon inside.
Should we thank the family?
We should thank the family.
Yes.
Thank you. No, we're kidding, of course.